What is your God's name? Part 16. I'm Professor Redelinghuys of the First Assembly of Yafashua in South Africa, Pretoria, Montana. Should you be require any of the books which I've written, especially the book What is your God's name? Please contact Pastor Rika, my wife, for WhatsApp 0722 367 124. That's on the international +27 code. Or go to my website https://yafah.co.za. Should you have any questions or need any information, please do not hesitate. It's very, very important. If this is the first time that you are looking at this program, this video, please go to part 1. Start from the beginning. You have lost a lot of information, which is very important because it's all part of the foundation of the study. Very important to to also share the link with your family and friends, and that you should participate. It's very important to know that we do not associate ourselves with the following people or churches or denominations, any Messianic group, the Israel Vision groups, the Hebrew Roots movement, the Sacred Name movements, the Yah movement, the Jehovah's Witness movement, and even the Seventh-day Adventists. We're not part of any church denomination or organization in the world. We are only an end-time Bible studies, all we do, all over the world. What do? We use the restoration of the original Sacred Name Bible, the 1816 Bible, which was translated by Dr. Joseph Brian Rotterdam in 1860. From the original ancient Hebrew Torah text, which is not the 1902 corrupted Emphasis Bible. According to this Bible, the restoration of the original Sacred Name Bible, the Rotterdam version of 1860, the name Jesus was originally Yafashua, the name God was originally Elohim Hashim, the name Lord was originally Yafa, the name of the Holy Spirit was originally the Ruach HaKodesh. We refer to ourselves as Yaphist, according to 1 Peter 4:16 in the original Hebrew Sacred Name Bible, the Rotterdam version. So was the disciples of Yafashua 2,000 years ago. They were not referred to as Christians because the word Christian was only created in the 4th century, or to be exactly 327 AY after Yafashua at the Council of Nicene, and that was Constantine. Emperor Constantine, Pope Constantine. He was the first Pontifex Maximus, meaning he was chief of the church, head of the church, and head of the Roman Empire. Pope, and he was Roman Empire at the same time, or Roman Caesar at the same time. We will now continue where we left off. Just again, it's very important to watch my hands. When I do this, it's brackets, which I add anything. We are coming to a very interesting part of the study, which is the different texts which we use, text or manuscripts. This part of our study will still be part of the foundation of our study, because through it we will experience the originality of a few different Hebrew and Greek texts and manuscripts, and realize that it's these texts and manuscripts that prove the originality of the Bible, namely the Greek translation. Listen to what I'm saying. Not New Greek, New Testament. Greek translation of the New Testament, and the Torah, the original Torah translation or Hebrew translation, it was in the time of Moses, the 5 Pentateuch books, which is the Torah. The first text that we're going to look at, we are going to look at it couple of different texts, because as a student of the word, it's important that you should understand where we're coming from. Why are we referring to certain Bibles, not using other Bibles? Because some of them are from the original text, and others is from corrupted texts which were created only in 1881, just the other day. We first look at the text, the Hebrew text, the original text, the Masoretic text. The Masoretic text. According to the ancient Hebrew history, it is well known that the Hebrew text was written on parchment rolls. With other parchment rolls was rolls that they turn around. They didn't have pages and a photostat copier and all those type of things. They used pergament rolls where they wrote on and they roll it off, and they, in the time of Isaiah and all the prophets, and even in the time of Yahushua, Hebrew text was written on pergament rolls, which through the ages started to disintegrate very easily because it was used over and over and over and over again. These age-old holy scrolls, it's called scrolls, caused this ancient text to be rewritten from time to time. Well, it makes a lot of sense. After many years, it will start depreciating, it will start deteriorating, it will start to get tears, and some of the ink will just disappear, it will fade, and there will be marks on it, and. So, there's a very big need, so these scrolls cause the ancient text to be rewritten from time to time. Now listen to the next part of it. According to the history books, when these holy scrolls, the Torah, especially the Torah, I just want to say something here for you as a student. Just remember, when you talk about the Greek text, there's 5,333 different Greek texts. But when we talk about the ancient Hebrew text, there was no text. It was the Torah. The Torah was the text. There was no text where the Torah came from. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Don't let the rabbis tell you there's a Torah text. There was no Torah text. The Torah is the text of the ancient Hebrew Bible, where everything started, the 5 Pentateuch books of Moses. So there's no, like the Greeks has got, there's for instance, I'm just thinking of one Greek text, which is the Textus Receptus text, 1522, Desiderius Erasmus. Well, he had 5 different texts, which he written, 1516, 1518, 1520, 1522, and 1524. But the 1522 text became to be known as the Textus Receptus text. Only 100 years after, it received the name Textus Receptus text, which means original text. Alright, so the Hebrew doesn't have that sort of scripture which they can use called a text. You see, from the text, the Textus Receptus text, the Greek text was, or the Greek Testament, New Testament was created. There was nothing like that where Moses had a text which he used. Moses wrote the Torah, the 5 Pentateuch books of Moses. That is called the Torah, and that is the original. So if I want to talk about the original Hebrew text, there's nothing else to talk about except the Torah, because there's nothing before that. You understand that? So don't let anybody ever fool you again to say there's an ancient Hebrew text that is hid away, or there's no ancient Hebrew text. It is only the original text. The ancient, original Hebrew sacred text. That is it. And that's where the original Hebrew names came from the Torah. Not a text. Alright. Should I refer to any text per instant just by having a conversation? If I talk about the Hebrew text, then I mean actually the Torah. I just want to correct myself here. It might happen, you know, a horse can slip on 4 legs, so I can slip on my tongue. According to the ancient books, when these holy scrolls is called what? The Torah. The Torah was written on holy scrolls. It wasn't holy paper, it was scrolls, but it became holy scrolls because of the information which were received by Moses needed to be written or duplicated. It was done with the greatest care, and every necessary step was taken to assure that everything in this holy scroll or the script or the Torah, it's all the holy scroll, script or Torah is exactly the same thing. To make sure that everything in this holy scroll, the Torah, was authentic as in the original one. So when they had to rewritten the Torah, they took a lot of care to make sure it was perfect. This enormous task was not just left to anyone to perform. No, the rewriting of this text, and if we say text, we're talking about now the Torah becomes a text in the sense that it's written from it, but it's the same Torah. So it's not another text. You understand what I'm saying? So if I say text, I mean the original Torah is only going to be duplicated. Today it would have been easier. Just put it under a photostat copier and they would just run it, like in a book. Those years it was a massive job to do. It was a massive undertaking to rewrite the Torah. This enormous task was not just left to any person to perform. No, the rewriting of the Torah was allocated to the highest authority in the synagogue. And the high priest and his delegation would take time to decide to this who would take part in this special task for the right person or persons to participate. The text, the Masoretic text, make a note, Masoretic text, was a copy letter per letter. It was copied letter per letter. Other A as an Aleph, the Aleph, a Yod, a Vav. Every ancient Hebrew letter was copied exactly as they had it, and it had to be done exactly. And it was supervised by the highest authority of the temple. So he says, the Masoretic text was copied letter per letter and word for word. The rabbis would make sure that even the spaces between the different letters needed to be exactly the same as in the original Torah which they had. If one looks at the currency of the Hebrew scroll when it's needed to be written, one need to notice the preparation before doing so. Before they start writing, they just didn't sit down and say, right now we're going to start with it. It was a massive preparation to rewrite the scrolls of the Torah. Every word and letter needed to be exactly corresponding with the original. The person whom the task was assigned had to be extra careful. I don't want to say person, persons. There was more than one person. To not write at any number at any verse. Every original number and space had to be exactly the same. If the number is on the side of the page, it would be replaced. It would not be replaced the number in the middle of the page. If certain letters were leaning forward or backwards, the letter will not lean forward or backwards in the other way. Even the commas and the points, capital and small letters, had to be exactly the same as the original Torah scrolls. When this project of rewriting the Holy Scrolls was undertaken, the accuracy of the original word Yafa, now you must listen very nicely. The accuracy of the original word Yafa was of utmost importance, because this was the original word of Yahweh Almighty as recorded by Moses and the prophets. You understand that? Whenever the Masoretic rewritten scroll was read in the world, it will be recognized as the original ancient Hebrew sacred text. I'm just going to say this again. Whenever and wherever the Masoretic rewritten scrolls was read in the world, it was recognized as the original ancient Hebrew sacred text. And this is the Bible that we are using. In the next video that we'll do, I will show you the restoration of the original sacred name Bible. Alright, we will put it on the screen so you can see it. It is generally accepted that the original Hebrew text, the Masoretic text, was the backbone of all English Bibles. And the Old Testament, as we knew it, I'm just going to rephrase. It was originally accepted by all churches and all denominations and all Bible societies that the original Hebrew text, the ancient original Hebrew sacred text, the Masoretic text, was the backbone or the foundation of all English Bibles and the Old Testament as we know it. Listen to it now. Fasten your seatbelt. This is not exactly true. Later on, I'm going to discuss this in full, but I want you to start worrying already when I say this is not exactly true. The reason that so much preparation was undertaken when rewriting the ancient Hebrew sacred scrolls is to ensure that the generations to come will have the privilege of reading from the original sacred scroll as if it was given to Moses yesterday. That's how perfect it was. If in the time of Isaiah or Jeremiah or Daniel or anybody, any of them that took the scroll, the original scroll in their hands, it should have been as if it was in the times of Moses. In the next part of our study, we shall in short observe the Lusitanian Byzantine text. Byzantine text. The Lucian Byzantine text, if we have to discuss the Greek New Testament, and I'm showing my fingers, the Byzantine text in full, it is possible to write another interesting book. In this section, we shall only look at certain aspects of the text. It's impossible for me to discuss everything about the Byzantine text. The 2nd century Byzantine text. Make a note. 2nd century. Lucian, L-U-C-I-A-N, Lucian, Byzantine, B-Y-Z-A-T-I-N-E text. That is the ancient Greek. It's not the Hebrew text. It's not, this is the Greek text. It's not the Hebrew text. So the Hebrew text is the Old Testament. The Lucian Byzantine text is the Greek New Testament. That's the ancient text. That's the ancient text which all Bible translations from the 2nd century was used for the Greek translations. The Christian schools, which is situated in Antioch, was a theology training center which originated in the 2nd century. At this college in Antioch, the literary word of Yahweh was taught with preference to the Godhead of Yahweh as seen in the 1611 King James Bible and our own 93 Afrikaans Bible. From time to time I will refer to our 1933 Afrikaans Bible because it was translated directly from the 1611 King James Bible. Although the Bible Society of South Africa, the USB, say it is not so. They are lying. They are used to lie. The Lucian of Antioch was a theologian who was tortured to death in 312 AD because he refused to eat the meat which was offered unto a Roman Catholic pagan god. That's how he came to his end, at his end. One of the greatest guys after the apostles of Yahweh, one of the greatest guys ever to live, I think. Because of him, he left us an original Greek script by which we could live today even. If it wasn't for the Roman Catholic Bible Federation and the United Bible Society in South Africa. And the different countries have got different Bible societies. They all use the modern Hebrew or the modern Nestle Island text from 1881, which comes from the 5 corrupted texts, codexes: Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Tugendhatus, Codex Alexandrinus, Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Leningratus, and I know that by heart. 5 of them. Those are all your corrupted texts. We was used, or they were the codexes, the manuscripts, it's all Greek manuscripts, which they used, corrupted Greek manuscripts, which they used to translate the Nestle Island text, which is called the West Kortenaar text. West-Kortenaar, two Roman Catholic priests. They had insight into the Roman Catholic Vatican, or to the Vatican's library, and then they corrupted everything. They didn't use it. And from 1881, the first Bible that was translated from that corrupted text, the New Greek New Testament, listen nicely, New Greek New Testament, was the 1881, called the 60, you've got the 1611 King James Bible, and then 1881 you had the New King James Bible. New King James Bible. Why a New King James Bible? Oh, the old one said thou, and sow, and meow, and cow. No. As we go along, you will see the corruption that infiltrated that Bible, which is called the New King James Bible, and many other Bibles, which I'm going to mention to you as we continue. So Lucian of Antioch was tortured to death in 312 AY because he refused to eat the meat which was offered to Roman Catholic pagan gods. That's a man that can stand for the truth. Lucian was also known to study the original ancient Hebrew text and the Greek manuscripts. Listen to what I'm saying. He was known to study the original ancient Hebrew text and the Greek manuscripts. Lucian of Antioch became known in the world for the Lucian Byzantine text he brought to life, better known as the Syrian text. So if you ever hear the word Syrian text or Lucian Byzantine text, it's exactly the same text. Alright. It's of utmost importance to note that this Byzantine text or Syrian text for the next 1,500 years was the only text that which were used for teaching and reading the Bible until 1881, when West-Kortenaar, the two Roman Catholic priests, with their own corrupted Nestle-Aland text, created the New King James Bible. This corrupt text, the Nestle-Aland text, will become the foundation text for more than 300 English Bible translations that will follow. Isn't that heartbreaking? From 1881 up till now, except for the 1933 Afrikaans Bible and the 1953 Afrikaans Bible, never ever were they again use the Lucian Byzantine text. Later on it will be referred to in 1522 as the Textus Receptus text, which were Desiderius Erasmus. He would use the Byzantine text from the 2nd century, which was although it was busy deteriorating, and what was his name? The 1522 text, which was written, he had insight into the Vatican because he was also a Catholic. When he written the Textus Receptus text. All right. So the corrupted text, the Nestle-Aland text, would become the foundation text for more than 300 English Bible translations that will follow. Today there's over than 400 English Bible translations using the Textus, not the Textus Receptus text of Desiderius Erasmus, but the West-Kortenaar text, the Nestle-Aland text. For most Christian people, the following information will come as a shock. I'm sorry that I've got to shock you. And that's why I say, I hope you brought a couple of seatbelts. The next information will come as a shock. It is impossible to show them all, but I'm going to name a few Bibles which are daily used throughout most Christian churches in the world and Christian people. Not even the word Christian existed in the time of Yahweh. They were Yahwist. They were referred to as Yahwist, which means followers of Yahweh. So were the apostles and the disciples and the followers of Yahweh named Yahwist. It was changed by Constantine in 327 as Christians, Christolas, Christians. Followers, which means followers of Christ, is not. He was never referred to as followers of Christ. Yahwist means followers of Yahweh, because the name Christ never existed until the 4th century. Alright, I'm going to name a few Bibles, and you must tie your seatbelt. because most probably you're sitting with one of them. And that's why I always say when you do Bible study, use a 1611 King James Bible. If you don't have one, find one. Find the old one. The older the better. The New King James Bible, this is now the corrupted Bibles from the Westcott text or the New Nestle-Aland text, which came from the five corrupted codexes. The New King James Bible, the American Revised Version, the American Revised Version, the New American Standard Bible, the Living Bible, the Living Word, the New Century Bible, the Good News for Modern Men Bible, the Jehovah's Witness Bible, the book, the Everyday Bible, the Authority of Roman Catholic Bible. This is 11 Bibles. I can carry on and I can name the 300 if I want to take up all the space. This is enough to make you worry. This is Bibles that's in circulation, which is used in other churches and denominations every Sunday. And then you still have the Jehovah's Witness Bible, because they also write their own Bible, but it came from the Westcott text, the Nestle-Aland text of 1881. Just for interest sakes, and I'm just going to mention this just because it's part of my culture. Just for interest sakes, five Afrikaans Bible translations grew from the very same corrupted text, the Westcott text, which are spread throughout the world. As English people, there's 300 Bibles which is corrupted. So in Africa or South Africa, especially South Africa, we have 5 Bibles that's corrupted in our own mother tongue. I said, more than 300 English Bibles worldwide were translated from the corrupted text of the Westcott text known as the Nestle-Aland text, and they call that the true word of God in the world. Can you explain that? You know, between your 1611 King James Bible and your New King James Bible, there's 9,000 scriptural changes. There's 18 verses that just disappear into thin air. Isn't that cause us for concern? How can they change 9,000 words in the Bible? And just take 18 verses and let it just disappear in thin air. And this also happened in the Afrikaans Bibles. The true word of God in the world, in the next section, will be estimated the Textus Receptus of 15.2. That is the true gospel. The Textus Receptus text of 1522, Desiderius Erasmus, was translated or copied from the Lycian Byzantine text of the 2nd century. Alright, if you have my blue book, what is your God's name? 3.3, the Textus Receptus text. I'm sharing with you with information that I have 2 doctor's degrees or doctoral degrees. If I want to do a third one, I spend 200,000 or 300,000 rand for the course. That's what it costs at the university. I can take this book and just put it into the right format and I will get a third doctoral degree. There's nothing I can do with extra doctoral degrees. It doesn't help me anything because I'm a professor. But the information in this book is good enough for doctoral degrees. Let me just say that. At this stage, as a viewer, you should know that the original text, the Byzantine text, was written on papyrus scrolls and sheets of skin. Papyrus scrolls and sheets and on rolls of sheep's skin. This was referred to as perkament rolls. Through the centuries, these perkament rolls were damaged because of age and it became very hard to read from them. In 1522, Desiderius Erasmus, who was a Roman Catholic, who has access to the Vatican in Rome, took the existing Byzantine text and copied it letter for letter. This new text of Desiderius Erasmus was named the Textus Receptus text. It wasn't immediately referred to as a Textus Receptus text. The name only came about 100 years after he died. I don't know, I can't give the explanation why. All they referred to was the 1522 text. It used to now be known as a 1522 Greek text, and then it became the Textus Receptus text. This text, the Textus Receptus text, will form the backbone of the Reformation of the 16th century. If there wasn't a person like Desiderius Erasmus, and there wasn't a text like that, because he was in 1522, right? And there wasn't a text, a modern, ancient Greek text, like the Textus Receptus, there would have never been a Reformation. Never. Because of the originality of the text, that the Protestants could use, well, from the text, the Textus Receptus text, grew Protestantism, where they broke away from the Catholics. Martin Luther, Calvin, well, I'm thinking of John Calvin, Martin Luther who wrote who put the 80 laws on the church doors. So, if it wasn't for these people, there would have been no Reformation. This text, the Textus Receptus, formed the backbone of the Reformation in the 16th century. Through this text, the Roman Catholic Church would lose its domination of more than 1,500 years because of the birth of Protestantism. Now, I'm going to stop right here because time has catch up with us. I'm going to stop right here, and next time when we start, next week, we're going to start with different Bibles that originate from the original text. So we can have a background from where we are coming and where we are going. It's actually frightening to know what happened with Bible translations and Bible reviewing, doing reviewing, changing texts. Every generation they change the Bible as they like. That's why you get a lot of people today that does not even want to touch the Bible because it's been corrupted, especially by the Catholic Church and by its affiliates. Till next time, Maranatha, Yahweh is coming back again. Hallelujah.